The following is a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and entertainment in Fairfield and Westchester counties. From the ballpark at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport, it's high school baseball on the HAN Network. Good afternoon, everyone. With Justin Galanti, Sean Saylor, our entire crew, I'm Rob Adams, and today it's the Battle of Fairfield as the Fairfield Ludlow Falcons take on the Fairfield Ward Mustangs as we are at the home of the Bridgeport Bluefish and all singing the praise of this big thing in the sky called the sun on an absolutely gorgeous Monday afternoon. Justin, great to have you along for this battle. It's been a tough road for the Falcons. For the Mustangs, they feel like they're having themselves a big year.
Well, good to be with you, Rob. Obviously an odd situation in this game. We have a beautiful stadium, beautiful day to see these two crosstown rivals. Ludlow, like you said, a little bit of a struggle this season, 4-9, but however 4-5 in the FCIAC and only one game out of an FCIAC playoff spot at the moment, even though they still need to win 4 more games to qualify for the state tournament. Ward got off to a slow start this season after being one of the favorites coming in, but they're 11-5 now, 7-5 in the conference, which puts them in 7th place. However, they've played at least 2 more games in the FCIAC than every other team, so that number a bit skewed as they have the same number of FCIAC losses as Ludlow.
Patrick Calabrese will go for the Falcons today against John Natoli for the Mustangs, and certainly the field still, obviously it took enough rain over the last week, but the bottom line is this. It's looking forward to the warmer temperatures.
Yeah, absolutely, and the pitchers are going to be happy with that. Calabrese making just his 2nd start of the year for Ludlow, so that's going to be interesting how he comes out on such a stage against your crosstown rival. And look, there's not 5,000 people here, but it's intimidating pitching in this stadium. And then John Natoli, really a special pitcher for Ward. He's their ace. He's the guy they look to get a W. He came in relief of Reese Maniscalco on Saturday against McMahon and got the Mustangs a win.
Let's see if we can bring in a little bit of the pomp and circumstance. They are splitting public address duties tonight. Paul Pioric and Dr. David Title will both be on the PA. I believe that's Paul Pioric right now. Let's see if we can bring in a little bit of that sound.
Batting third in left field, number 2, Matt Landry. Batting fourth in center field, number 7, Chris Howell. Batting fifth at third base, number 24, Connor Rowland. Batting sixth at first base, number 31, John McMillan. Batting seventh, catcher, number 20, C.J. Hanrahan. Batting eighth, playing second base, number 2, Sean Gutierrez. And batting ninth, shortstop, number 10, Brian Devaney. Pitching for Ludlow's number 8, Patrick Calabrese. And head coach is Mike Franchese, and the assistant is Eric August. And your Fairfield Ludlow Falcons. And now the starting lineups for the host Mustangs of Fairfield Ward. Leading off at third base, number 15, Joey Deutsch. Batting second, shortstop, number 2, Jack Myers. Batting third, center fielder, number 23, Giacomo Gonzalo. Batting fourth at first base, number 17, Reese Maniscalco. Batting fifth, pitcher number 4, John Natoli. Batting sixth, at designated hitter, number 19, Xavier Espinel. Batting seventh, catching, number 16, Danny Bartolomeo. Batting 8 in right field, number 22, Bobby Lazar. And batting 9th in left field, number 6, Owen Urendorf. And head coach is Brett Connor, and the assistant is Chase Solar.
So you've got the starting lineups. All we need to do is throw the first pitch. We're at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. It is the Fairfield Ward Mustangs and the Fairfield Ludlow Falcons. We come back and get it started right after this. You're watching the FCAC on the HAN Network.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking, to a partner that makes small businesses feel big, where community comes first, where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver, where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well. With the 24-month Bankwell Smart CD, you can earn 1.25% APY and raise your rate and add to your CD.
The HAN Network travels all over Fairfield County in our HAN Cruiser, covering news, sports, and entertainment.
And when we do, we make sure that our HAN Network branded floor mats are with us to keep the dust and dirt outside.
These mats get filthy, and there's only one company that can get rid of that kind of dirt.
Triple S, with locations all over Fairfield County. We're just now pulling into their Stamford facility. Rob, let's go see if Steve and Wanda can clean these mats up.
Wanda, Steve, literally thousands of feet have walked across our mats in the last 5 months in wind, rain, mud, more.
Is there any way you could make these mats look like new again?
No problem.
That's what we do here. Come on in.
For more than 50 years, Triple S has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities. With locations in Norwalk, Stamford, and Stratford, Triple S will get the job done fast, big or small. At Triple S, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning. Find us at triplesclean.com or 203-847-8000.
I think what makes ONS special is that it has everything that makes academic medicine great. We have the fellowship-trained specialists, but we still bring the style and type of medicine that's indicative of a community practice.
We are all trained in our area of interest and expertise, so our patients see a doctor who specializes in their particular injury.
I did have 2 consults with major New York City hospitals, but I just felt that the care was best here. I was treated like a rock star. The surgery exceeded any expectations that I had.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 500,000 viewers enjoyed our broadcasts in the first 5 months. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Back at the ballpark at Harbor Yard, Rob Adams, Justin Galante, and our entire crew on hand tonight getting ready for this one between these two crosstown rivals, and really a rivalry that is sort of one-sided, talking with our good buddy, the legendary Sean Saylor, before the broadcast tonight, who hates it when I call him legendary, thus I call him that even more so. It has very much been a Fairfield Ward-dominated affair.
Absolutely. Ward's been better over the last few years. Couple of years ago on this field, taking home an FCAC championship behind a dominant performance from Hunter Hewitt. But Ward has just had the more talented players overall. It's been a few years since Ludlow's really had that guy who can do it for them. It was Kevin Hickey 2 years ago, an ace right-handed pitcher who's now pitching at the University of South Carolina upstate. But today, we're going to see an ace right-hander in John Natoli for the Mustangs.
And they have taken the field right out in front of us in those white uniforms, which I had to go back and look for myself, and indeed, I will show Justin here. You won't be able to see this off the air, but there is I pulled up a picture of Tom Seaver circa 1982 for the Chicago White Sox, and when you get a look, and I said this to Brett Connor, the head coach of the Mustangs before the game, I said, you guys walked into the dugout, I thought it was the 82 White Sox showing up.
Well, those are some pretty stylish uniforms, Rob. Ward comes out, and they're looking to play well. They haven't worn these uniforms yet, and a lot of times around the FCAC, coaches bring out a new uniform for what they say is a big game. This is a brand new uniform for Ward because this is a big game to them. No matter what your record is, when you play against the team that's on the other side of your town, you want to win. And even though Ludlow's only 4-9, like we mentioned before, the FCIAC is all ahead of Ludlow. They've only played 4 teams so far that are currently in the FCIAC playoffs if the season ended today. So they have an opportunity, starting with this Ward game, where if they can pile up some wins, they can get in that tournament. And as we've seen over the past few years, all you have to do is get a berth in that tournament.
We said absolutely beautiful, joking about the weather before the game. And, of course, you know, the weather has been a topic. That's all there is to it. You've got all the rain that has come through the area over the last 7 to 8 days. Even yesterday, the rain hit, and I heard this pouring rain at one point around noon after the sun had been out, and I thought, we're never going to see sun again. But here we are with some wisps of clouds overhead and a gorgeous Monday afternoon. I'm ready for some baseball. I'm sure you are as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see if the warm weather, which we haven't seen a lot of so far in the high school baseball season, will maybe let the pitchers loosen up a little bit more, or we'll see if the ball flies a little better than in those rainy temperatures where a ball off the end of the bat, you can't feel your hands for 3 innings.
Mike Bernstein will lead things off. The designated hitter starts with the open stance, now closes it, waves the bat a couple of times with John Natoli, the right-hander on the hill, who kicks and deals from the middle of the rubber and the fastball upstairs, 1-0. We are underway, 72 degrees at first pitch. I will absolutely take it.
That's a nice number to hear.
And first pitch, 5-12 as he swings and misses, and it's a ball and a strike. Have to get used to the big ballpark. Of course, you're not playing in a small cage here as you might be playing on a different field. The 1-1 is lifted foul and off to our right, hits the roof, and looks like it went over it. They do ask that you return the balls. Go ahead.
First 3 pitches from Natoli have been a little bit up in the zone. Sometimes that can be the jitters and the anxiety, especially pitching in this ballpark.
The 1-2 pitch on the way with nobody out. A high fly ball off first, giving it a look is Maniscalco, but that will head a good 10 rows up into the bleachers. Symmetrical ballpark, 405 to dead center, and I believe, although it's obstructed, I believe it's 325 to the corners. They do not mark the power alleys because naturally in this day and age you have to maximize the advertising, and I don't blame them. Time called. Now they'll step right back in. And Bernstein waits on a 1-2. Breaking ball pulled to the left side. Waiting on it is Jack Myers. He sets, throws the low throw, and it'll bounce away from Maniscalco. Making the turn and heading to second is Bernstein on the E6.
Well, Myers short hopped that one to Maniscalco a little bit. He went for the do-or-die play instead of getting in front of it, and that allows Bernstein to get to second base.
It'll bring up Dan Paglialunga, a left-handed batter, against the righty John Natoli.
And you wonder about the pitch selection a little bit there. I know it's early in the game, but the first 3 pitches were all fastballs that Bernstein didn't come all that close to catching up with, fouled them back to the right side, which shows you're late on it. John threw a curveball there, probably a little bit more up in the zone than he'd like, and Bernstein was able to put bat on ball, put it in play.
A runner off second. Obviously, runs coming at a premium with the struggles for the Falcons, so they'd like to get that first run home. Pitch misses the outside corner, 1-0. Scoreboard on in right center field. That is basically the original scoreboard since this ballpark opened back in the late 90s, 1999 to be exact. The pitch on the way is a fastball called strike on the outside corner, 1-1. In on the edge of the grass at third is Joey Deutsch. We owe you the rest of the defense, and we'll get it to you in a moment. 1 ball, 1 strike, and a scoreless first inning, and the pitch on the way to the lefty misses upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Owen Berndorf in left, Giacomo Brancato in center, Bobby Lazar around and right. Joey Deutsch plays third, Jack Myers at second, Jack Myers at short, Alex Steele at second, Reese Maniscalco at first, with Danny DiBartolomeo behind the plate. Fastball catches the outside corner, framed nicely by DiBartolomeo, and it's 2-2.
Something to think about in this game, Rob, is that when you're playing at Harbor Yard, the home run doesn't come into play the way that it does in other high school games. You really need to manufacture runs.
The 2-2 pitch on the way with nobody out and a runner off second. Checks his swing. Did he go? Yes, he did, and he's down on strikes, 1 away.
Natoli elevates the fastball there on the 2-2 pitch, gets the swinging strikeout. Good combination of pitches right there. Went low in the zone on the outside part of the plate. came in a little bit, and Paglialonga's eyes got a little big on that high fastball.
Now Matt Landry, the left fielder, he steps in. You can hear the wind whipping around as a slider stays upstairs, 1-0. We told you 72 at first pitch, but the wind whipping around at times upwards of 21. The 1-0 sawed off and lifted foul and will get out of play. 2 rows into the first base bleachers, 1-1.
A little bit more foul territory here also than your normal high school field, so that one, which probably would have been in the parking lot at most high school stadiums, well, at Harbor Yard, that's almost an out.
That's exactly right. As the Amtrak train makes its way past, heading New York bound, likely making its way back from Boston and places north and east. Finally got to ride that. I don't ride the rails a whole lot, certainly not Amtrak a whole lot, but did that back in February as we made our annual trip to Boston. The 1-1 pitch on the way, catches the inside corner, 1-2. Nice trip, but anytime you take a train ride with Paul Silverfarb, you don't have to worry about talking. You just sit there and let Paul do all the work. That's why we're friends. The 1-2 pitch on the way with a runner off second, 1 out. Push to the right side, he'll get the runner over. To the backhand goes Maniscalco. He'll touch the bag, 2 away.
Good pitch there by Natoli. Got it in on the hands a little bit of Landry. Got the weak ground ball to first base. So now Howell, a big at-bat for Ludlow. Man on third, 2 outs, looking to go ahead early in the game. What do they say all the time about great pitchers? Get them early. This may be one of the few opportunities for Ludlow to scratch a run against Natoli.
Here's Chris Howell, center fielder, right-handed hitter with the infield back, and he swings at the first pitch and skies it on the infield. Waiting for it is Alex Steele. To the outfield grass he goes to put it away, and the inning does come to an end. So a squandered opportunity for the Falcons in the top of the first inning. No runs, no hits, an error, 1 left. Middle of the first inning in Bridgeport. Fairfield Ludlow nothing. Fairfield Ward coming to bat. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network. Hi, I'm Rob Adams with my good friend Donald Eng, and we're the home team for Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 o'clock right here on the HAN Network. We are the place for all things Connecticut sports, so come hang out with us on Nutmeg Sports. Don? They don't call him the best color man in the game for nothing. Nutmeg Sports, 2 o'clock, Monday through Wednesday right here on the HAN Network. To the last of the first inning at the ballpark at Harbor Yard, no score as an error to lead off the game gets squandered by the Falcons. And I know first inning, but you're struggling, you're 4-9, you're trying to hang around the FCIAC. Does that thought to move that runner over to third, maybe push him over there, does that come up for you in the first inning?
Well, I think it has to, especially when you're playing in a ballpark like this. I know we're probably going to say it over and over again during this broadcast, but hitting a ball in the gap is difficult here because the outfielders can cover so much ground. There's not going to be any home runs today, so you're going to have to manufacture runs, move them over. If you go back and think about it, you obviously never know what's going to happen, but if Paglialonga maybe lays down a bunt there, then Landry's ground ball to first base would give Ludlow a 1-0 lead.
On to the bottom of the first we go with Joey Deutsch to lead things off. A righty-righty matchup as we play here in the last of the first, and the first pitch misses high and away, 1-0. Even at the bags on the corners, and a called strike as it dives on the outside corner, 1-1. John McMillan at first plays right near the bag, but off the line. Even with it, Connor Cronin a little back behind. He moves up now at third. This is bounced right back to Patrick Calabrese. He'll underhand the first, 1 away.
Good start there for Calabrese. Gets a fastball in on the hands of Deutsch, and that spinner came right back to the mound. Calabrese handled it with ease to get the leading lady.
Nobody on and 1 out for Jack Myers. Myers, a right-handed hitter. the shortstop today, will set the Ludlow defense in a moment. Opens his stance, and the first pitch dives away, 1-0. Matt Landry in left, Chris Howell in center, Dan Paglialunga around and right with Connor Cronin at third. Set the defense as we continue on here. That misses on the outside corner, caught the corner. It's 1-1. Looked like it might have been a touch of a wide strike, but we do not get the final say. The 1-1 pitch on the way, with the shadows beginning to move in as a fly ball to center field. Ranging over now to right is Paglialunga, who settles in and puts it away. 2 out.
Boy, it's hard to tell with the wind up here, but I don't know if you saw the same thing as me, but that looked like a straightaway fly ball to center field off the bat.
That's exactly. I was almost a little embarrassed, Justin, because I started to say a fly ball to center, and it did totally turn and go to right. You can see the wind whipping through Giacomo Brancato's jersey as he hits here with nobody on and 2 out. Pitch dives outside, 1-0.
Calabrese going with the first pitch breaking ball. A lot of guys like to stick with the fastball in the first inning, first time through the order, but not so with Calabrese.
The 1-0 pitch on the way with 2 out in the scoreless game. He swings and misses, 1-1.
But that's what that sets up, the first pitch breaking ball, and then he throws a fastball down the heart of the plate, but Brancato couldn't catch up.
Sean Gutierrez at second, John McMillan at first with C.J. Hanrahan behind the plate, and a curveball is a called strike, 1-2. And for my money, sure, this ballpark can hold upwards of 6,000. This is a nice crowd for a Monday night game, and the Falcon has appeared down the third base line. The pitch on the way, dives away, and high, 2-2. And let me tell you, the Fairfield Ludlow Falcon and I, we are almost on first name terms. We filmed some promotional spots back in 2 portions of our FCAC tour. Curveball just misses, and the count runs full.
About half the Ludlow team was running off the field on that one.
So was Sean Saylor, for that matter. He was leaving. He was out of here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on, 2 out, no score, last of the first. That's outside, ball 4. Held on to a fastball too long, and down the first goes Brancato. It will bring up Reese Maniscalco, the first baseman.
Well, 2 out walks are something you want to avoid if you're a pitcher, especially when it brings up the cleanup hitter, giving him an opportunity with a man on base. We'll see if Brancato gets a little fidgety on the bases, tries to get to second, get in scoring position for his cleanup hitter, Maniscalco.
Another righty as we get our first wafting of ballpark smells. Setting up outside. That hits the dirt, bounces away. On his way to second goes Brancato, makes the turn. The throw is coming to third, and he is toast. So it'll go as a wild pitch, and then nail him 2-5 at third. The inning comes to an end. For the Mustangs in the bottom of the first, they get no runs, no hits, a walk, and thanks to the play here to end the inning, nobody left on base. 1 gone in Bridgeport, no score. The Falcons, the Mustangs. You're watching the FCAC on the HAN Network.
Had a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or go to coastalorthoexpress.com. That's coastalorthoexpress.com. Like them on Facebook.
Back at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. On to the second inning we go. Connor Cronin, John McMillan, and C.J. Hanrahan due up for Mike Francesi and the Fairfield Ludlow Falcons. First pitch, by the way, was thrown out before the game by the superintendent, Dr. David Title. So nice to see him out here, but he is stepping away from that position. And on to the second inning we go. And, of course, also stepping away from his position is the athletic director for Fairfield Ludlow, Mr. David Schultz. And good friend of us here at the network. First pitch on the way to start the inning is a called strike, 0-1 to Cronin.
So going back to the end of that last inning, Brancato commits the cardinal sin of baseball, making the third out at third base, just something you really don't want to do.
Curveball stays upstairs, and it's a ball and a strike. There's the Falcon moving around, our good friend. As he swings and misses, does Cronin, 1-2.
Natoli seems to have good control of his fastball early, but all his breaking balls have been a little bit up.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Outfield straight away, infield back, and the pitch on the way. Stays high. And the count levels at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I mentioned approximately 6,000, but it's a 5,300 seat facility here. The 2-2 is fouled straight back, and I'm glad we do not have the Birdhouse cam today for that very reason. It's still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Our Birdhouse cam took a softball off it last week at Ridgefield. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch coming. He swings and bounces it up the middle, sliding behind the bag, set, throw, got him, 1 out. Jack Myers showing the leather. He'll throw the ball away into the outfield, but what the heck, 1 away.
Beautiful play there by Myers, ranging to his left, going up the middle. And sometimes the harder part than making the play is getting up and making the throw. Myers was able to compete.
The legendary Yankee and eventually Padres broadcaster, where he really made his bones, Jerry Coleman, always said you can hang a star on that one, and in fact they hung a star right below the booth where Mr. Coleman, who really was one of the greats in baseball, where he broadcast from for many years, when he retired, that stays upstairs, 1-0. Jerry Coleman was, of course, a Marine, a pilot, in fact, in the Korean conflict. Was a Yankee second baseman as well. The 1-0 pitch stays outside. 2 balls and no strikes to John McMillan, a left-handed hitting first baseman. And Coleman went into the broadcast booth with the Yankees in the 60s. This is served foul down the left field line. 2 balls and a strike. In fact, it was one of the guys who had the radio call of Mickey Mantle's 500th home run in May of 1967. Then went on and became an absolute Padres legend and even managed the team for a year. The 2-1 pitch. Line to left, a charging, sliding try, and that'll be short hopped out there by Burendorf. So it's the first hit of the evening. It's a 1-out single for John McMillan.
McMillan does a nice job right there, serving a fastball out into left field, and probably that's a pretty routine hit at a normal high school field. Here, the outfielders, it kind of takes you a couple innings to figure out where to play in relation to the infield and to the fence, but that one, like you said, just short hopped into Burendorf's mitt, and that's a single.
A runner off first, now with 1 out and the throw over to first. In fact, if I'm lining this high on the way, Maniscalco has to deal with the sun over there. He seems to be okay. The pitch is low. Bounces away for a moment from DeBartolomeo, but no advance. 1 ball, no strikes to Hanrahan. DeBartolomeo needs to adjust the shin pad, so he'll get that all set up, giving Hanrahan a chance to step out and step back in. Jerry Coleman was not the only guy to go from the broadcast booth into, of course, did it for the Astros. Is outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Anytime I tell a broadcast story, oh, you know I can work in a Vin quote. Pitch on the way, swung, missed. 2 ball, 19-6 lineup card to Vin Scully from the booth at Dodger Stadium. Quite a funny story. No score, runner off first. A called strike, 2-2. Dodgers got a runner on base, so Scully said, well, let me ask the crowd. Should he run? Should he not? Sure enough, he ran, and then that was it. Here's the set, and the pitch on the way with a runner off first. 1 out. Now they'll throw back over.
Natoli showing the quick feet there. That's the second time he's thrown over to first in this at-bat. The first one, kind of a B move. That one looking to catch the runner off guard a little bit.
A long set. Now the pitch on the way. Served into right center field. That'll drop in for a base hit. Played out there by Lazar. So runners at first and second for 1 out. It'll bring up Sean Gutierrez.
Ludlow's doing a nice job right now, not trying to do too much with the pitches from Natoli, waiting back, letting them get deep in the strike zone, and then taking it the other way. We've seen both singles hit to the opposite field in this inning.
A right-handed hitter. He opens his stance. Now cocks the bat behind his right ear. The set and the pitch on the way is a curveball, called strike and nicely framed by DeBartolomeo. No balls and a strike.
You really can't underestimate the value of a good catcher. DeBartolomeo had a nice frame, like you said right there. We've seen him block a couple balls. And in high school baseball, one of the ways runs are scored is, frankly, on wild pitches past balls. So if you're able to keep the ball in front of you and not give away free bases, that's incredibly important.
And it comes back to how much space there is behind home plate. Pitch on the way is another curveball lifted to center. Brancato comes on and it bounces past him. Waiting and now starting is McMillan. He'll make the turn and head toward home. The throw going to get Hanrahan at third is not in time. So runners at the corners. A run scores 1-0 Ludlow.
And that ball was hit off the end of the bat. Brancato actually broke in initially, which was the right move, but then he stopped. Maybe didn't see the ball so well, something like that, and then couldn't start again in time to get the ball. A little bit of a half-hearted dive attempt, rolls by him, and Ludlow's got the early lead.
I turned around to get an indication from Eric Gendron to see what he thought. Whether or not hit or error, but I didn't quite get an indication from him as this goes to the backstop. Hanrahan claps his hands, 2-0.
Boy, if you're Ludlow, couldn't have drawn up a better start to this game. Get an early 2-0 lead. Like you've mentioned, they're a struggling offensive team, but they've put together, I'm going to say 3 base hits.
I agree.
And then a wild pitch right there, maybe pass ball, but they get the 2-0 lead. Still a man in scoring position. The scoreboard says 2 outs, but there's only 1.
Correct. We'll catch up in a moment after the pitch is a called strike to Devaney. 1 ball, 1 strike. I agree with you to catch up. 3 singles in the inning because Brancato, again, did the sun play with him? Did the wind play with him? But the bottom line is this. He had to come in to play that ball. It scooted by him, but not in a way that I thought was errant. A curveball catches the corner. It's 1-2.
And they always say the toughest ball for an outfielder is the one right at you because you can't judge if it's over your head or in front of you. It's easier when the ball's on an angle.
Devaney waiting on a 1-2 pitch. Now time called. The home plate umpire not thrilled. In fact, the catcher not thrilled with the music being played. DeBartolomeo saying, let's turn that off.
So the question is, did he not like the song, or was it the fact that the music was being played?
Now time is called. And they're actually waving to, I always love when they wave to us. We have absolutely nothing to do with the music, I promise you. And you will experience that 1,000 times in your career. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So somebody got playful with the play button on the CD player. Pitch on the way is swung on and missed. And down goes Devaney, 2 out. Second strikeout for Natoli. And back to the top of the order for Mike Bernstein. He reached on an error in the first.
We'll see what Natoli does the second time through the order. He's already been varying his pitches. He saw Bernstein catch up with an off-speed pitch last time.
Runner off second. This is lifted to right in trouble. Going back Lazar. It's going to be over his head. Rounding third and scoring Gutierrez. On his horse. Past second Devaney. The throw is grabbed and thrown back in, but not nearly in time. A sliding triple. 3-0 Ludlow.
Great piece of hitting by Mike Bernstein right there. A huge shot to right field over the head of Lazar. And Rob, that's a triple and an RBI. But I think you'll agree with me, there is not one field in the FCIAC other than playing at Harbor Yard where that's not a home run and 4-0.
Absolutely true. Anytime there is a field with a fence, that is, and quite often we come across many places that don't have fences, but some of these have very strange, dimensions. You think of the Blue Monster with Staples, your very own field that you're familiar with. Other places, I agree. A place like Greenwich's Cardinal Yard, that's a home run.
West Hill, that might be out of the field twice in right
field. Absolutely. They've got a short porch there and right at West Hill. That basically an elongated soccer field.
Well, I don't think Brett Connor expected to be having to make a mound visit in the top of the second inning today.
No. So 3 in the inning, and it's a 3-0 ball game. Now Dan Paglialunga, who struck out his first time, left-handed batter. And a runner off third with 2 out. Second inning. That catches the outside corner and framed again, but DeBartolomeo. No balls and a strike. The home plate umpire is willing to give you a little bit of latitude tonight.
Which is interesting because he sets up on the inside part.
The 0-1. Check swing, bounces away, foul ball.
He sets up on the inside part of the plate to a lefty, which means it's kind of hard for him to see the outside part, but he's giving that call.
It is interesting, I agree. 2 out, 3 in, 3-0. He swings and misses, and that is indeed the end of the inning. Third strikeout for Natoli, 2 in the inning, but 3 in the inning for Ludlow. On 4 base hits, they leave 1 after 1.5 here at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. Ludlow 3, Ward 0. You're watching the FCAC on the HAN Network.
Mosquitoes, ticks, gone. Guaranteed. That's what Mosquito Squad guarantees as America's most trusted mosquito and tick control company. Locally owned and operated, over 90,000 homes have been protected by Mosquito Squad using their dual protection method for season-long protection, which includes barrier spray service for eliminating mosquitoes and adult ticks, as well as supplemental programs to increase tick control. They use only USDA organic options, which are safe and non-toxic. Contact them today at www.squadctny.com or 203-893-4309. Mosquito Squad. No bugs, no bites, no kidding.
I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN Network.
I know this is, video and audio. You don't get the scent of the ballpark smell. But oh boy, those dogs and fries and chicken fingers smell awfully good as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Reese Maniscalco will lead things off. He was at the plate when Brancato was cut down trying to go to third on that wild pitch. A right-handed batter, and the first pitch to him from Calabrese is bounced up the middle. A 2-hopper grabbed by Devaney, throws on to first, and scooped out over there by McMillan, 1 away.
One of the most important things in baseball for a pitcher is the shutdown inning. Can you come out after your team puts up a couple runs and put up a 0? It really takes some of the fire out of your opposition. We'll see if that can be done here by Calabrese.
John Natoli opens the stance, keeps that bat very low, as he waits on the first offering from Calabrese, who brings it home. Fastball stays on the outside corner, 0-1. Again, there's that wide strike.
That was the widest one I've seen so far,
yeah.
I think.
No balls, 1 strike, 3-0 ball game, second inning. That caught the corner as well, 0-2.
Well, John Natoli at the plate right now is probably saying to himself, if you're going to call that, you better give that to me when I'm on the mound.
It goes both ways. No balls, 2 strikes with nobody on, 3-0 Ludlow. A called strike 3. Got him on a fastball looking. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. First strikeout for Calabrese, 2 away.
And you got to give him credit. Those pitches might look a little bit outside, but if you're getting the call, paint it right there. There's no way Natoli can reach that pitch.
As the Rolling Stones once said, paint it black. Well, got it right there. 2 away for Xavier Espinal. Left-handed batter, the designated hitter. That is, I promise, high and outside, 1-0. No disrespect to the gentleman in the black shirt with the gray pants. The 1-0. That is a called strike fastball on the outside corner.
That one looked good to me.
That one looked good to me, too. I still wouldn't have hit it, but that's a whole different argument. Plenty of room in left center field as Howell plays around toward right, and the pitch on the way is lifted right back up to A.J. Simonowski, who had to get away from him. Coming into your living room, 1-2.
I would have liked to see more of an effort on that one to catch it.
I'm a little let down by my friend AJ. I thought he was going to get that ball, and it actually bounced down into the stands below us. The 1-2. He swings and misses, and the inning quickly comes to an end, serving and keeping AJ away from more abuse from the broadcasters. Nothing across for Ward in the home half of the second. 3-0 Ludlow after 2. You're watching the FCAC on the HAN Network.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday items to the freshest organic produce, artisanal cheeses, and grass-fed steaks. Chop off your knives to be sharpened. Grab a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Alberto Londano Professional Painting, Wallpapering, and Carpentry has been serving Fairfield County for over 20 years. Based in Norwalk, Alberto takes pride in his work by offering you only the best quality service and products. Call Alberto today to get a free estimate and be one step closer to a new and exciting home makeover. 203-866-9635.
I'm Denise DiGregoli, the host of The Drive on the HAN Network. Join me Tuesdays for some motivational, intelligent talk with a little humor as we visit with people who live their lives mindfully. Tune in to The Drive live on Tuesdays, 12:30, here on the HAN Network.
On to inning number 3. Rob Adams, Justin Galanti, as well as Eric Gendron directing. The now completely abused A.J. Simonowski running one of our cameras, who says the ball was too low for him. The legendary Sean Saylor is here. Bill Bloxham, C.J. Santiani, Marty Hersom, Josh Fisher rounding out the crew. Matt Landry will lead things off here in the 3rd inning. He's 0 for 1, grounded to first, and a slider on the inside corner, 0-1. I am still laughing at that foul ball, and I completely admit it. No balls, 1 strike. Natoli brings it home, catches the outside corner, so there you go, 0-2.
All right, he's not going to be as upset about that at-bat anymore.
No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, plenty of room in right center field. And the 0-2 pitch on the way. Fouled right back. AJ does not have to go for that one. It stays 0-2. We actually do have a conversation before virtually every game. Don't go for the ball. Believe it or not, we do talk about that. Now, a knucklehead like me, I'd probably go for the ball. AJ normally would go for the ball anyway. The 0-2 pitch is on the way. Curveball called, strike 3.
And I think that's the sharpest breaking ball we've seen from Natoli thus far. Started at the front hip right there of Landry and broke it over the inside part of the plate for the strikeout.
Strikeout number 4 for John Natoli. It'll bring up Chris Howell, who popped to second his first time. 3-0 Ludlow in the 3rd inning. And that's on the inside corner with a breaking ball, 0-1. Of course, this is not our first go-round here at this ballpark on the HAN Network, the 0-1. Fastball catches the corner, 0-2, and the crowd climbing in support of Natoli, who seems to be heating up. But he's down 3, the 0-2 pitch. Check swing, bouncer, third base side of the mound. It's rolling, foul ball.
Very heady play right there by Natoli. Wouldn't have had any chance to throw Howell out at first base. Lets it roll foul. But like you said, John looks like he's starting to get in a rhythm here, getting the ball back, getting on the mound, throwing the pitch. He looks like he's much more comfortable. Maybe it took him a couple of innings, and also the fact that he threw a few innings on Saturday, maybe factoring into the fact that he doesn't look as razor sharp as normal.
The 0-2 pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Strikeout number 5, 2 away. It'll bring up Connor Cronin. In the very early days when we were just radio, we stayed down below in the press box and we saw this game among others. And last year we were here a whole lot, including the FCAC playoffs and championships, leading up to a reminder of stepping away from a loose ball as this is served foul. It'll pinball around in the first base stands, 0-1. Cronin is 0 for 1, grounded to short, and a nice play over there by Jack Myers in that 2nd inning.
Boy, what an FCAC championship game this stadium saw last year.
Check swing, but it's on the outside corner, 0-2. Oh, what a one for the ages. Wilton beating Staples 1-0 in 8 innings, and we were on the edge of our seats in this very spot. The 0-2 almost turned around and walked away, did Cronin, but it's a ball and 2 strikes.
You don't often see the batter think it's a strike and doesn't get the call that way.
That was something. We'll continue the thoughts on last year, but this is a fly ball to center field coming on Brancato. Calling, goes to right center field and makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down for Natoli. He's retired 4 in a row. Middle of the 3rd inning now in Bridgeport. It's 3-0 Ludlow on top of Ward. You're watching the FCAC on the HAN Network.
A Better View Window Cleaning Plus has been cleaning glass all over Connecticut for over 20 years. They also specialize in cleaning chandeliers, mirrors, skylights, tiles, and will power wash anything that needs cleaning. They hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and are fully insured and bonded. When you deal with the Better View, you're dealing with the best, not the rest. Call today for a free estimate, 203-284-8836, or visit them online, abetterviewcleaning.com.
For over 25 years, Mike Cizik Painting and Wallpapering has been the name to know for residential and commercial properties in Fairfield County. He uses only the top brands, including Benjamin Moore, for impeccable preparation and lasting quality. Call Mike now and receive $500 off any job over $7,000. Mike is currently accepting reservations for spring, so call him today at 203-770-8869 or 203-972-3310. For your custom painting, finishing, and staining needs, it's Mike Cizik.
Let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning now. It'll be Danny DiBartolomeo, Bobby Lazar, and Owen Berndorf due up against Patrick Calabrese.
This is going to be an important stretch for Calabrese, up 3-0, facing the bottom 3rd of the order. You really want to get a 1-2-3 inning here and then get back to the top. In the 4th, Joey Deutsch leading off with no one on base. If you start to get traffic on the bases and get to the top, that's when you get in trouble.
And the fastball catches the outside corner, 0-1. So last year we're here. We have a whole group of interns with us. A lot of good people were here, and a lot of the names admittedly escape me. The 0-1 pitch on the way just misses low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. We had a girl working a camera off to our right. Bill Bloxham's kind of in that same area right now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out, nobody on. Now time called. And sure enough, after having a long conversation, Justin, before the game about give up on any fly ball that comes your way, the 1-1, just a bit inside and behind DiBartolomeo. So the crowd will react to that one, 2-1.
I think we can all agree that wasn't a strike.
I would agree with that one. In any event, what does happen after that conversation? Sure enough, line drive up here into the box area, the skybox area, and she got right out of the way of that ball. We all had a good laugh about that. The 2-1 misses up and in. Again, I'm willing to agree that was not a strike. 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Now the pitch on the way. Swings and misses at a high fastball, 3-2.
3-1 count. DiBartolomeo chases a pitch probably out of the strike zone. Usually 3-1, you're looking for a pitch in one zone.
Outfield plays it straight up on the 3-2 pitch. That's high, ball 4. Second walk allowed by Calabrese. He walked Brancato back in the 1st. Here's Bobby Lazar, the right fielder.
And you mentioned a potential bunt back in the 1st inning by Ludlow when there was no score. Down 3-0. We'll see if Brett Connor puts that into play. Maybe he wants to play for a run to scratch across one here. Or maybe down 3, he's looking for a crooked number in this inning.
Runner off first. In at 3rd, and the pitch misses outside, 1-0.
And if you include the pitch that DiBartolomeo swung at, pretty much at his eyes, that's 6 in a row out of the strike zone from Calabrese.
1 ball, no strikes. Runner off first, being held on by McMillan. Even with the bag at 3rd is Cronin. He swings and tries to golf it for everything. It's a ball and a strike. That was a pretty titanium swing there. Number 22 steps back in. 3-0 ball game, throw over to 1st. Sean Saylor reminding me before the game today, we saw 2 home runs in this game last year right here, including Xavier Estemanel, who darn near hit one onto the railroad tracks and right. The 1-1 pitch on the way, swung on and missed, looked like a changeup. It's 1-2.
Good mix of speeds right there by Calabrese, getting Lazar way out in front of that one. You could see his head was almost on the train tracks with that swing.
I have no empirical data to tell you whether or not a train has actually been hit or whether those tracks have been reached in the history of this ballpark. The 1-2 pitch on the way. On the outside corner, called strike 3. Third strikeout for Calabrese.
And we'll see if the hitters start to adjust. That's now 2 hitters in the last 2 innings for Ward that have struck out looking on pitches that we'll call them borderline. But as the game goes on, you have to recognize that that's being called a strike, and you need to get up on the plate and start trying to put that pitch in play, because if you don't swing, you're going to be heading back to the dugout.
That is the deal. No matter what, the arbiter gets the final call. I don't care if you're Eric Gregg giving all those strikeouts to Greg Maddux, or whether you're giving them all to Livan Hernandez.
Oh.
Everybody remembers that Marlins-Braves game, playoff game, long time ago now. 2003, I believe it was. Set at the belt, he brings it home. And that dives on the inside corner, 0-1 to Behrendorf. This ballpark, I said 99 before, actually opened in 98. But nonetheless, it has been here a few years. No balls and a strike with a runner off first to Bartolomeo there in a 3-0 ball game. Ludlow with the lead and a breaking ball. Skips into the dirt, but no advance. Good job by Hanrahan behind the plate.
And as you can see on your television screen when you get the full shot, the shadows are starting to creep out towards home plate. And once you get that, it's going to be much more difficult for the hitters to see the pitches. Ludlow down 3-0. The shadows aren't quite there yet. This may be important to score soon.
Cronin even with the bag at third, but this is bounced to second. Grabbed over there. The stumble and the throw, and they got him. Stumbling Gutierrez, but he was able to throw him out. On to second goes to Bartolomeo. A little bit of an adventure, but 2 away.
A hit and run was put on there by Connor with 2 strikes, which you don't see very often. But he had Francesi had his shortstop, Myers covering second base. Excuse me, shortstop Devaney covering second base, so that 3.5 hole between first and second was occupied right there by Gutierrez, the senior captain for the Falcons.
Joey Deutsch is 0 for 1. He grounded back to the mound his first time. A runner off second now and a 3-0 Ludlow lead, and a curveball stays high, 1-0.
And here's the situation we talked about before the inning, Rob. You have a man in scoring position, and the top of the order. Can Deutsch come through for the Mustangs?
1 ball, no strikes. A long set by Calabrese. Now he takes a look, brings it home, runs low and outside, fastball 2-0. Of course, with a right-handed hitter up, Paglialunga playing well off the line and right. Matt Landry playing closer to the line and left.
Interesting there. Hanrahan tried to call time to go talk to Calabrese, and the umpire said no.
2 balls, no strikes. That misses, 3-0. Again, with all due respect to the arbiter, he's got me off my game at this point.
Got to wait an extra couple seconds.
Seriously. 3 balls, no strikes. Runner off second, 3-0 game. That's on the outside corner, a called strike, 3-1.
So if you set up the situation here, you have a base open with 2 outs, 3-1 count. If you're Calabrese, you don't want to give in to Deutsch with a fat one here.
Now a 3-1 pitch coming. Sets at the belt. Calabrese brings it home. Swung on, fouled off into the glove of Hanrahan. It's 3-2.
Deutsch looked a little bit off balance with that swing.
So it's a 3-0 ball game with a payoff pitch coming and 2 out here in the 3rd inning. Right-handed hitting, Joey Deutsch waiting at the plate. And the 3-2. Line drive, center field, base hit. Rounding third and holding there is DeBartolomeo. Rounding first and holding on is Deutsch. Runners at the corners, the tying run to the plate in the person of Jack Myers.
Great throw in there by Chris Howell, forcing DeBartolomeo to hold at third base.
It'll bring up Jack Myers, who's 0 for 1, flied to right his first time. I am really intrigued by the home plate umpire not granting time there. I'm absolutely fascinated by that.
You never want to say anyone wants to get out of here quickly, but based on the size of the strike zone and things like that.
You can't help but wonder. Runners at the corners and the pitch on the way. Short hopped and grabbed by Hanrahan. No advance, 1-0.
Deutsch has good speed at first base. We'll see if Brett Connor puts anything on to maybe try and get him into scoring position or put a play on to get a free run here.
1 ball, no strikes, 3-0 Ludlow. Third inning, big shot here for the Mustangs. Now time called.
And there again, he wanted to talk to his catcher, and the umpire's saying no.
I'm fascinated. I really am. 1 ball, no strikes. The set and the pitch on the way. Misses outside, 2-0.
And there is a rule that a pitching coach or a head coach can only go out to the mound once, and then the second time has to go make a pitching change within an inning. But there is no rule about a catcher going out there.
Correct. Pitch on the way. He swings and lifts it. Fouling out of play. First base side. A fan tried to grab it. Hit him right in the wickets, and he couldn't take it. 2 balls and a strike.
Not quite sure Calabrese came to a complete stop there with the man on third. Obviously don't want to be balking in any runs.
Shadows beginning to infringe on the infield grass, and the 2-1 pitch on the way with 2 outs. Swings and misses. It's 2-2.
Looked like he had some cut on that fastball.
Parking not a problem here tonight, so I wouldn't be trying to get out of here too soon. Seems like a nice night to hang out here for a while. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and a 3-0 ball game. Tying run at the plate. Runner gets going, and the pitch is in the dirt, so taking second is Deutsch.
So now you have the 3-hitter on deck, but once again a base open with 2 outs, 3-2 count. We'll see what Calabrese does. A lot of guys will go breaking ball here with a walk, not really hurting you. He goes out of the windup with second and third.
Now here it comes with runners on the second and third, and it's outside, ball 4. Third walk allowed by Calabrese, second of the inning, and it'll bring up Giacomo Brancato.
Well, it looks like now we're going to get time.
I think we can all catch our breath for a moment. A 3-0 ball game. Eric August is the pitching coach for Mike Francesi. Brett Connor is the head coach for Ward. His assistant coaches are Chase Solars, John Gallucci, Eric Burns, and Johnny Benzie.
Connor, in his first season as the head coach of the Fairfield Ward Mustangs, previously served as the head coach at Trumbull American Legion and also an assistant at Quinnipiac University. The second coach in the FCIAC to actually join a team this year from a Division I school, Trevor Brown, the new pitching coach at Staples from Fairfield U.
Tying run at first, Giacomo Brancato with the bases juiced, and the pitch on the way to him. He swings and lifts it off to A.J. Simonowski's right. No balls and a strike. A.J. did not have to make a play on that one.
And I'm sure he's thanking someone.
He's not thanking me for mentioning his name in reference to foul balls. I will likely pay for it. But we're friends, and that's what you do. Runners full, or bases full of Mustangs, and the pitch on the way to Brancato is short hopped by Hanrahan. It's a ball and a strike.
Hanrahan does a good job keeping that ball in front of him with a man on third. We saw it on the other side where a wild pitch scores a run.
1 ball, 1 strike. Runners get their leads, and the pitch on the way. Upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. We talk about legendary broadcasters, and of course the great Red Barber would say the bases are FOB, full of Brooklyn. That's when the Dodgers were in Brooklyn. The 2-1 pitch on the way, low and outside, 3-1.
Obviously nowhere to put him here.
DeBartolomeo at third, Deutsch at second, Myers at first. Calabrese brings it home to Brancato, who swings and misses. It's 3-2.
Runners are going to get a head start here. A base hit in the gap will probably score all 3 runs.
3-0. Last of the third at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. Runners go, and the pitch is outside, ball 4. It'll score a run. Almost chaos on the bases, but scoring DeBartolomeo, it's a 3-1 ball game. And by the way, the runs coming home courtesy of just 1 base hit and now 3 walks in the inning.
And look, we've joked about it, but I honestly have no idea where the strike zone is right now.
Here's Reese Maniscalco. Runner still juiced, and he lifts it to deep left field. A long drive down the line. It'll bounce up into the left field corner. Landry grabs it. 2 runs have scored. The third on the way. And Ward takes a 4-3 lead on a bases-clearing double by Reese Maniscalco.
And Maniscalco comes out, bases loaded, coming off a walk. Knowing Calabrese is not going to want to do that again, he's going to want to throw a strike. Maniscalco ambushes the first pitch, hits it deep into the left field corner, and with one swing of the bat, the Mustangs have a 1-run lead in the crosstown rivalry.
4 in the inning, and it'll bring up John Natoli, 8th man to hit in the inning. What a shot. The set and the pitch on the way. Misses outside, 1-0.
I said before the game, relatively definitively, there won't be any home runs today. Well, I'm going to take that back because we've had 2 to the warning track so far.
The 1-0. That's on the outside corner, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 4 in. It's a 4-3 ball game now. Natoli with the open stance, and the pitch to him is a breaking ball that's lifted to right center field. Now coming on to make the play, and the catch is Paglialunga, and the inning comes to an end. What an inning for the Fairfield Ward Mustangs. They put 4 on the board, and they leave 1. Let's go into the 4th inning. Fairfield Ward 4, Fairfield Ludlow 3. You're watching the FCAC on the HAN Network.
Can't wait for it to get warmer so you can start fishing again? Get over to the Dock Shop, where they have the latest in fishing tackle, marine electronics, boating supplies, and more. But remember, the Dock Shop isn't your average tackle shop. You'll also find the finest selection of nautical apparel, jewelry, home decor, and gifts in New England. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
Do you need help reaching or maintaining your fitness goals? For over 20 years, Mike Pernice has tailored his time and expertise to clients on both coasts whose schedules demand flexibility and accountability. Mike is a certified lifestyle manager and has been called upon to help his clients eliminate negative behaviors such as coping with stress, improving their time management, setting realistic life goals, and cutting down compulsive behavior. If you're ready to start working toward a more energetic, productive, and healthier you, call Mike Pernice. Back at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. Well, quite an inning for the Fairfield Ward Mustangs. They take a 4-3 lead and new life now for John Natoli and the Mustangs.
And it seems like a while ago that we were talking about it, but back in the top half of the 3rd inning, we were saying how John Natoli appeared to be getting in a rhythm. Well, just like that, he's now up a run, and we'll see if he can have that shutdown inning and get Ward back in the dugout ahead.
A 35-pitch inning for Patrick Calabrese as he faced 8. 4 runs, 2 hits for Fairfield Ward, 3 runs, 4 hits for the Falcons, and a called strike to John McMillan, who singled and scored back in the 2nd. The 0-1, checked his swing, it's upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. The food being distributed among the HAN crew. There is a downside to this situation for Justin and I. Is short-hopped, 2 balls and a strike, which of course calls to mind one of everybody's favorite stories among this crew, although it dates to a WGCH radio broadcast of several years ago. The 2-1 pitch, fastball tickles the outside corner, 2-2. Chris Irway, Chris Kalin, and I were broadcasting a football game, probably Greenwich West Hill, something along those lines. The 2-2 pitch on the way with nobody out. That's on the outside corner, called strike 3. 6 strikeouts now for Natoli, 1 away. Anyway, the Greenwich family's always nice enough to send up food at halftime. And, well, you know, you're broadcasting the game. You got to take a bite, chew, then talk. I mean, there's kind of a rhythm to it. Here's Hanrahan, singled and scored. Slider low, 1-0. Chris Kalin was my sideline reporter. I said, let's go down to Cato, as Cato watched me take a big bite of pizza, the 1-0. Low and inside, 2-0. What does he do? He looks at the booth, looks at me, and goes, Rob, I got nothing, back to you.
Now, was that on purpose, seeing you take the bite? Okay.
Absolutely. 2 balls, no strikes, nobody on. 4-3 Ward, fastball low, 3-0. Oh, yeah, and keep in mind, Justin, this was not a 17-14 nail-biter. This was like 38-0, kind of he could get away with it. The 3-0 misses inside, ball 4. First walk allowed by Natoli. So into the statements of the HAN Network crew, and AJ will be one to use it all the time. He'll say, Rob, I got nothing, back to you. Runner off first, and the pitch low to Sean Gutierrez.
And right now, Natoli's in that stretch where back in the second inning, he gave up 3 straight hits to McMillan, Hanrahan, and Gutierrez, all going opposite field.
Wide open stance, and he takes a pitch on the outside corner. Fastball with a tail, 1-1. This, of course, the home of the Bridgeport Bluefish, where they did win a title here. Made a couple of championship appearances. Pitch on the way. Low and inside. 2 balls and a strike. Two balls, 1 strike. Runner off first, and it's on the way. This is lined down the right field line. That's going to head in toward the corner as it bounces into the beer garden, and now they're saying a foul ball.
Boy, was that a close one, but once again, going to the opposite field off Natoli, and Francesi is not happy right now.
And I would agree with him because I felt like that was right toward the line.
It's a difficult call because in high school you only have 2 umpires, and with a man on first base, the field ump is out by second, so there's no way he can see that.
I feel like, Justin, on a day like this, and I know umpires cost money, a day like this in this ballpark, you would be well served to have a 3rd umpire.
Absolutely, and that's what they have for the FCIAC tournament when it's played here.
But again, I know that's a question of dollars and cents, but if you're asking my opinion, money no object, get an extra umpire here.
Money no object, we could play this game at Yankee Stadium.
Well, there is that. That's a whole different discussion. 2-1, make it a 2-2 rather, misses low and outside, 3-2.
And I'm pretty sure Bernstein's ball would have been a home run at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, I think you're right. A short fence in right. The 3-2 pitch on the way, runner goes. Fouled right back, we'll do it again.
Natoli's pitch count starting to get up there a little bit, and you wonder with him throwing on Saturday just how deep Brett Conner will go with him in this game. And his other ace, we'll say 1A and 1B, Reese Maniscalco, started that game, so likely unavailable today.
Pitch number 68, in fact, is on the way here with a runner off first, and that's the tying run. It's a 4-3 ball game. He sets at the letters. Now the throw over. Had him looking. Ooh. He's back safe with the head first slide. Hanrahan was tipping his hand.
And that's something that you really can't do if you're Hanrahan. It's a 3-2 count. You're stealing because you're trying to get an advantage if the ball's put in play because you know Gutierrez is probably swinging. You're really not trying to steal the bag, so no reason to almost get picked off.
3 balls, 2 strikes. That's outside, ball 4.
And he actually wasn't going on that pitch.
So to second goes Hanrahan. Gutierrez on at first. It'll bring up Ryan Devaney, who struck out in the second.
So both teams today have had the bottom of the order set the stage for their offenses. Coach Connor's going to go out to the mound. The first time Ludlow got their runs back in the second inning, it was McMillan, Hanrahan, and Gutierrez, the 6, 7, 8 hitters. And then for Ward, it was the 9-hitter, Burendorf, setting it up, and DeBartolomeo had a walk, getting it back to the top and allowing Maniscalco to eventually hit that big triple.
Politics aside, this land that this field is on once belonged to Donald Trump.
It's hard to find land that didn't once belong to Donald Trump.
I think that Donald tried to buy the HAN network at one point, but decided to run for president instead.
You know, this whole country might belong to Donald Trump pretty soon. So
That is very true. Here's Devaney, right-handed batter with an open stance. 2 on, 1 out, 4-3 ball game. Ward on top. The set and the pitch on the way. Lifted foul and off to our right. Clanks off the roof, doesn't come back. 0-1.
We'll see if Francesi puts anything on here. You have your leadoff hitter Bernstein, who hit a triple last time, on deck. Even though a bunt would make their 2 outs, also would put 2 in scoring position.
Pitch on the way, shows bunt, pulls it back on a breaking ball, but it's a called strike. And quickly 0-2.
And Francesi's going to have some more words with the umpire. He's asking if that was a strike on the attempt or on the pitch. The umpire said on the pitch.
A wide open stance for Devaney and an 0-2 pitch with runners off first and second. Now Natoli brings it home, misses just outside, trying to frame it there, 1-2. And that's where you're going to get frustrated as a coach or as a pitcher, because you're thinking, hey, I've been getting that call all night, now I'm not going to?
You couldn't be more right, because the fact is some umpires have big ones, some have small.
Swung on and missed at a breaking ball, and down he goes.
But all anybody can really ask is that the strike zone stays the same.
That's it. Consistency, that's all you want. Back to the top of the order, Mike Bernstein reached on an error in the first and tripled and drove in a run in the second.
So this seems like a huge at-bat in this game. You're at the top of the order with men on base. Can Mike Bernstein come through and get on for the 3rd time today?
And the pitch to him is a called strike, 0-1.
And you see Natoli going with the first pitch breaking ball. Bernstein hit that fastball to the right field warning track last time.
Runners off first and second. Tying run is at second, and he swings at a high strike, 0-2.
Now Natoli gets Bernstein to leave the zone, so really has a variety of options here, 0-2.
Time called. Bernstein steps out, takes a practice swing, now climbs back in, does a little gardening. Puts that right foot on the back line of that right-handed batter's box. Waves the bat a couple of times. Leaning in with the shadows getting closer is Natoli. He brings it home. A swing and a fly ball to right. Tracking it. Lazar tracking it. It's over his head. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. It's a double for Bernstein. This crowd didn't know what to think. It's a 5-4 ball game.
And once again, Bernstein almost hit it in the identical place as his last at-bat. But going back on it, Lazar turned the wrong way and wasn't able to find the ball once he turned the correct way. Turns into a 2-run double and a 5-4 Ludlow lead.
And I think the way Lazar was playing it made everyone think he had it tracked perfectly, would put it away. All of a sudden, the ball bounced around and the crowds went, wait a minute. We're about to regain the lead here. This is served in the left field. A base hit for Paglialunga. Rounding third and holding on. Now he stops. Bernstein coming on. He scores. A single and an error by Berendorf, and it's a 6-4 ball game.
And Berendorf charged hard there, and sometimes there's a do-or-die play where the only way you're going to get the out at home is if you come through as hard as you can. On that one, that was not the case. Bernstein had stopped at third base, so all he needed to do was get down to a knee, keep it in front of him, a clear error that allows the run to score.
Staying at first, though, was Paglialunga. And it's a strike to Matt Landry, 0-1. So a single E7, no run batted in for Paglialunga, and that run unearned. But it's a 6-4 ball game now. The set and the throw over to first, and a slide head first back by Paglialunga.
Good feed again by Natoli, had him leaning a little bit.
No balls, 1 strike. The set and the pitch on the way. Fastball tickles the outside corner, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. A short lead by Paglialunga at first, and the pitch on the way. Curveball lifted foul and out of play to our right. Bounces around. And grabbed by, I believe, a young lady in the lower deck. Yes, indeed. Made a nice grab on a ball that just kind of bounced right to her. And you know what? That's the way to do it.
It's a lot better when it bounces first.
Oh, it's much better. 0-2. I'm sure everybody has a foul ball story in their life. The set in the 0-2. Runner goes. That's high to throw to second. It's got plenty of time, and he's out. So a caught stealing to end the inning. However, 3 more runs come in for Fairfield Ludlow. It's a 6-4 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning in Bridgeport. Ludlow on top of Ward, 6-4. You're watching the FCAC on the HAN Network.
I think what makes ONS special is that it has everything that makes academic medicine great. We have the fellowship-trained specialists, but we still bring the style and type of medicine that's indicative of a community practice.
We are all trained in our area of interest and expertise, so our patients see a doctor who specializes in their particular injury.
I did have 2 consults with major New York City hospitals, but I just felt that the care was best here. I was treated like a rock star. The surgery exceeded any expectations that I had.
What's happening up in Hartford and what's trending in the Nutmeg State?
Join Kate Czaplinski
And Josh Fisher
on CT Pulse live Wednesdays at 12:30 to find out.
We talk to the leaders and newsmakers while breaking down the stories you should be paying attention to each week.
With the help of HAN's editorial cartoonist Doug Smith, we take a humorous look at the news of the week. We talk about everything you were told you should avoid bringing up in polite company.
CT Pulse Wednesdays at 12:30 on the HAN Network.
Let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning now. Xavier Espinel, Danny DiBartolomeo, and Bobby Lazar due up for Brett Connor and Fairfield Ward. Rob Adams, Justin Galanti here at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. Nice to have you up here.
Oh, it's nice to be here. Exciting game, nice day. Thankfully no rain for the first time in maybe a year and a half at this point.
Espinel waiting on the first pitch, swings and misses. He struck out back in the 2nd, 0-1. We do want to send a greeting to our buddy Dan Gardella, who was also supposed to be here tonight. No balls, 1 strike, 6-4 ball game. He swings and fouls it back on a breaking ball, 0-2. Danny had a bit of, shall we say, car problems before the game, so umpire needs some new balls, I believe. In the meantime, a righty is twirling in the bullpen for Ludlow, and I believe a lefty down the line for Ward.
Eddie Maggi warming up for Ludlow, and he went out during the last inning, but then while Ludlow was at bat, he didn't throw at all. Just got back up at the start of this inning.
No balls, 2 strikes. Espinel waiting, and he lifts a fly ball off third. This will go about 4 rows deep and right into the middle of where most of the fans are sitting. It's still 0-2. Most of the Ludlow fans, I should say, but a lot of Ward fans down the first base line as well.
And the Ward fans, I think they're a little happier right now. Maybe not with the score, but they're in the sun.
I wouldn't disagree. The 0-2. Breaking ball stays high, 1-2. Although, you would be certainly comfortable tonight in the short sleeves, even if you're up here in the quote-unquote press box that we have. I'm certainly comfortable here. You get a look at Seth Fry. And a 1-2 pitch coming here. And the pitch on the way. Misses. Let's do it again. Pulled to the right side and through, a base hit. So Espinel on it first. It'll bring up the Bartolomeo.
Calabrese, with no one on base, tried to go with a little bit of a quick pitch there. Didn't come set, which you don't have to with anyone on base. But Espinel was ready for it, grounds it through the right side for a leadoff single. And now Danny DiBartolomeo, who ignited the 3rd inning rally for Ward, is up, as Espinel will be pinch run for here.
So the pinch runner stepping in for Espinel. And they will go over all that as DiBartolomeo gets ready to step in. He walked and scored his first time. Dom Conti is the pinch runner at first. I mentioned Seth Fry. He is down there with Dave Schultz as well, among others.
So you really get a look into Brett Connor's mindset here in the 4th inning. Down 2 runs. Espinel not the most fleet of foot, but you would expect him his spot at least to get another at-bat in this one, but he feels like it's more important to get the running on base.
A long look in. DeBartolomeo waiting, holds the bat low, now cocks it high. They set up outside and time called. Pitch thrown, but time was called.
That was a little late, but that's what you want to see from Calabrese. You see injuries sometimes when guys try to stop when an umpire abruptly calls time. No matter what, they say always finish the pitch.
Always finish your pitch, absolutely right. A throw over to first. Had him leaning just a little bit, but he's back safely.
And it seems to me like Calabrese has gotten a little bit sped up here.
Did you always finish your pitch?
You know, I did. I tried.
I believe so, because I remember broadcasting you as a pitcher.
Okay.
Now the pitch coming. Swung on him, missed, took something off of it.
And another reason to finish the pitch, there was actually a situation in the Met game, I believe yesterday, where Jim Henderson thought the ump called time with a man on third. He didn't finish his pitch. There was no time called. It was a balk and a run scored.
That's right. No balls and a strike. 6-4 ball game. Ludlow on top of Ward. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Runner off first, and he slides back in again. Dom Conti, the pinch runner, over at first, being held on by John McMillan.
Here's something I'll tell you. Whenever there's a pinch runner, no matter how fast he is, how fast he looks, a pitcher thinks he's fast.
Oh, yeah. Now a long look in. Calabrese holds the ball back behind, now throws over. So a game of catch going on, a little cat and mouse going on with Conti at first. Certainly the Falcons expect him to run. Set at the belt, Calabrese brings it home. Bunted, third baseline, foul.
And you see that one hit fair and then spin foul. That's because DeBartolomeo, the barrel of his bat dropped a little bit. What they say to do when bunting is you drop your knees, but always keep the barrel of the bat above parallel to the ground.
Young lady having some fun in the crowd with the Falcon.
I wish I could play with the Falcon.
She's having a chat over there, a couple of them. How are you? What's it like being a bird? Things like that. Pitch on the way. Took something off of it. Check swing, and it works. Drops into right. They'll throw to second, but safe at second is Conti. Little excuse me, but the tying run now at first.
That could not have been more than a half swing, but just placed in the absolute perfect place by DeBartolomeo. Now first and second, no one out, and I might expect a bunt out of the 8 spot, Bobby Lazar right here.
Lazar before took an absolute hack to try to hit the ball really out to the inlet from Long Island Sound. But time called, and we're going to get a visit to the mound. And I believe that is Mike Francesi coming out. Sean Saylor giving me the head nod. It might be time for the gift of the Magi down the left field line. And indeed, it will be. Back in the day, there was once the bullpen cart. Eddie Magi says, nope, I'll run in. We've got a pitching change here at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. A big spot, 6-4 ball game. We're in the fourth. You're watching the FCAC on the HAN Network.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking, to a partner that makes small businesses feel big, where community comes first, where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver, where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well. With the 24-month Bankwell Smart CD, you can earn 1.25% APY and raise your rate and add to your CD.
For more than 50 years, Triple S has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities. With locations in Norwalk, Stamford, and Stratford, Triple S will get the job done fast, big or small. At Triple S, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning. Find us at triplesclean.com or 203-847-8000.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 500,000 viewers enjoyed our broadcasts in the first 5 months. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Maggi is the new pitcher for Fairfield Ludlow. It's a 6-4 ball game right now, but with nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th inning, the tying runs are on base.
The 8th spot up in the order for Ward here against a new pitcher. Some coaches like to make a new pitcher throw a strike, especially on a new mound where the Ludlow pitchers are not familiar, having not played here all year. You sometimes want to see him throw a strike. Others say, let's get a bunt down right away, get the at-bat going. We'll see what's going on in Brett Connor's mind. The tying run at first base right now.
Dom Conti, the pinch runner, on at second. Danny DiBartolomeo stays put at first. And now Bobby Lazar, 0 for 1, struck out in the 3rd. We have the preliminary numbers on Patrick Calabrese. We'll get to that in a moment. He shows bunt and bunts it back. Foul, 0-1. He is responsible for the 2 runners on base, but if you like the number 4, then you want these 2 runners to get stranded. Calabrese, 65 pitches and 3+, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 4 hits, 4 walks. Struck out, wait for it, 3, but he did throw 1 wild pitch. No balls and a strike, 1st and 2nd. Now Maggi turns around and takes a look at Conti off second.
And the purpose for that was to see if Lazar was going to square to bunt again. No one was covering second base, so no intention of trying to get a pick off there.
No balls, 1 strike. Left-handed batter setting up outside. Hanrahan, the pitch, and it's bunted and lifted, but short hop by McMillan, who wheels and fires. Got him there, but disappointment for sure. Moving up 90. Both Conti and DiBartolomeo. A little frustrated.
And look, he got the job done, absolutely, but that was the situation that I mentioned a few moments ago. 2 pitches right there that were not in the strike zone, but Maggi gets away with 2 strikes, gets an out. Now 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, you have your 9-hitter up, and Ludlow up 2 runs will bring their infield in, something personally I don't agree with. We'll see how it works out.
You've been scoring runs. I would think you could keep scoring them. Breaking ball stays high to Berndorf. 1-0.
And my personal philosophy on bringing the infield in is that you should only bring guys in as far as their arm needs to get a guy out at home plate.
And they're all on the edge of the grass. Pitch on the way is lifted down the left field line, in trouble, going back, and it's over the head of Landry. 2 runs will score, heading towards second, and in with a stand-up double is Berndorf, and we're knotted at 6.
Berndorf out of the 9-hole ties the game at 6 with another ball down the left field line. Maniscalco, the right-handed hitter, pulled one that way. Berndorf goes to the opposite field off Maggi, who seems to have a little bit more velo than Calabrese did. But now a tie game with the top of the order, Joey Deutsch. And for the 3rd time today, we've seen a pitcher fail to have a shutdown inning. That's why we have a 6-6 ball game.
And with that said, it closes the door on Calabrese and, well, change your lottery plans for the evening as he swings and misses, does Deutsch. No balls and a strike. He's 1 for 2 on the afternoon. So all 6 runs now earned on Calabrese.
And we're going to get some more action in the Ludlow pen coming up.
6-6 game. Maggi takes a look at the runner off second, which is Berndorf, and he brings it home. That spins inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It was Matt Grabowski, the junior right-hander, who just sprinted out of the Ludlow dugout.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 2 in the inning. 6-6 ball game. And he swings, big bouncer, 2-hopper to the left side, backhanded by Devaney, the long throw. Scooped out at first by McMillan, nice play. Staying put at second, Berndorf, 2 out.
And good base running there by Berndorf. They tell you if the ball is hit to your right as a base runner, you hold up. If it's hit to your left, you advance to the next base. That one to his right, and more importantly, he's still in scoring position, so really no need to try to get to third base there.
Dan Gardella, trying to stay on my good side, texted me a few moments ago. Runner off second now. That's the go-ahead run. Jack Myers walked his last time and scored, but swings and misses, 0-1. Keep in mind, and I love Dan. Dan worked with me on that softball broadcast in Ridgefield last week. Dan also happens to be a Boston Red Sox fan.
Oof.
Dan licking the wounds a little bit, although getting the win last night in the Bronx. And the pitch on the way. That drops low, no advance, 1 ball, 1 strike. But Dan does say thanks for the shout-out, wishes he was here, but it's a great broadcast so far. He is truly trying to stay on my good side. Dan, do what you got to do, and we'll see you soon, my friend. Dan and I have a lot of fun talking baseball. I do like Red Sox fans to talk to. The 1-1 pitch on the way.
Maybe not after you lose last night.
Short hopped outside, 2 balls and a strike, and indeed the Red Sox have the better of the Yankees overall in the season series, with the Bo Sox having swept the Yankees a week and change ago. And a grinning Red Sox fan controlling the shots here in this broadcast over my shoulder and trying to talk smack with me on iChat. 2 balls, 1 strike, 6-6 game, and it's on the way. Fastball runs inside.
You know, all of a sudden on your computer screen, you're going to see highlights from the Sox-Yankees games with David Ortiz hitting balls into the bleachers instead of this one.
Yeah, Big Papi showing the emotion the other night, that's for sure. On the first base side of the rubber is Maggi as he brings it home. Pulled foul, 2-2.
Maggi has been exclusively fastball changeup so far. He had Myers out in front of that one.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner off second is Berndorf. He doubled to tie up this ball game. 6 runs now on 5 base hits. Now time called.
By the way, throughout this inning, there hasn't been activity in the Ward bullpen, so you'd expect John Natoli back out for the top of the 5th.
But Maggi dealing with Jack Myers and Giacomo Brancato on deck. Pitch on the way, runs just inside, and it's ball 4. Almost hit him just underneath the elbows. But he goes down the first walk allowed by Maggi, and it'll bring up Giacomo Brancato with the go-ahead run at second now and 2 out here in the 4th inning.
Brancato has received the Bryce Harper treatment so far today. 2 at-bats, actually 2 plate appearances, 2 walks.
Historic stuff from Bryce Harper. But it worked to the Cubs' advantage. Pitch on the way to Brancato is low and outside, 1-0.
But in this situation, Maniscalco hit the big 3-run triple last time. I think Maggi's going to go right after Brancato.
And the pitch on the way. He swings. Soft line drive. It'll drop in for a base hit. 1 run will turn and score Berndorf. To third goes Myers. It's a 7-6 ball game.
Another nice piece of hitting right there by Brancato, just serving the fastball into right center field. 1st and 3rd here, 2 outs, and now 7-6 Fairfield Ward.
Here's Reese Maniscalco. Grounded the short, doubled, and drove in 3.
I don't think this is the game either of us expected.
No. I would say all 3 of us standing out here in this area on this landing, you, myself, and the legend Sean himself, all agree that this is not the game we expected.
Sean sees this Ludlow team a lot, and he told us before the game they don't score a lot. He's just as surprised as everyone that they've put up 6 so far against Natoli.
And that's short hopped and held on to by Hanrahan, 1-0. Nice crowd, beautiful night, wind blowing just a bit. Not bad, but whipping around at times. Now the set, checking the runner off third. Maggi brings it home. Pulled foul, that'll go up and around and into the crowd. 2 rows back, grabbed by a fan. Nice play by the gentleman 2 rows back, who probably is from Fairfield. I'll go out on that limb. Rex Barney, the longtime PA announcer in Baltimore, would make up a town when someone grabbed a loose foul ball. He'd say, well, give him a contract. That guy from, you pick the town, Glen Burnie, Chevy Chase, Bethesda, whatever. The 1-1 pitch on the way. A high fly ball to left. Going back Landry, settles, takes a look, comes on, long run, and he's got it. a bit of an adventure out there and left, but in the end, no harm committed. However, Ward has regained the lead. It's a 7-6 ball game as we head into inning number 5. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
The HAN Network is the leader in local broadcasting in Fairfield and Westchester counties. We reach tens of thousands of viewers via our live news, sports, and entertainment broadcasting. We can create your advertisement and broadcast it through our programming to one of the most affluent markets in the United States. And remember, our broadcasting is live, which means viewers cannot skip or click past your marketing message. And we measure our audience and their demographics on every broadcast. To advertise on the HAN Network, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
They're staying at the YMCA at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. We're staying at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. It's a 7-6 ball game as we move into the 5th inning.
So John Natoli back out to the mound for Ward, giving up 6 runs so far. Certainly not what Brett Connor expected, but his team does have a lead right now. And as we head to the top of the 5th, 9 outs away from a victory, but certainly all indications from what we've seen so far is that there are going to be some more runs scored.
Matt Landry will lead things off. He's 0 for 2, including a strikeout in the 3rd, and it misses upstairs fastball 1-0. Pitch number 77 from Natoli. Shadows getting closer across the field as that catches the outside corner at the knees, 1-1.
And regardless of whether Natoli had or hadn't pitched on the weekend, once you get up in this area, teams start taking pitches to try and get a starter out of a game.
Low and outside, 2 balls and 1 strike to Matt Landry. Natoli ready, and the pitch on the way. Upstairs, 3 balls and a strike. So Calabrese right now leaves on the hook for the loss. And the pitch coming, beg your pardon, he leaves with a no decision, I beg your pardon. That goes outside, ball 4. Had to go back and double check myself, but in any event, the tying run now goes to first base. It'll bring up Chris Howell. So Calabrese off the hook completely. The ball game now in the hands of Maggi and Natoli. Howell 0 for 2, popped to second and struck out. Right-handed batter, stands deep in the batter's box. The set and the pitch on the way, and a backdoor slider catches the inside corner, 0-1.
Nice pitch right there from the Cornell commit.
Runner gets his lead off first, Landry. Being held on by Maniscalco. Set at the letters as he bends over and brings it home. Oh, nice pitch there. Took something off of it, and a swing and a miss by Howell, 0-2.
Howell well out in front of that pitch from Natoli. We'll see if he can do a job here and at least move the runner over. A strikeout, probably the worst thing in the world for Coach Franchese's Falcons. A man on first, nobody out, down a run.
7-6 ball game. The set and the pitch. Bounces around in front of DeBartolomeo, but he does a good job keeping it right there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That is a brilliant waste pitch, though, by Natoli. Try to get him to chase something filthy out of the strike zone.
And he attempted to triple up on the off-speed pitch there, so you wonder if he goes high fastball here.
They're setting up like that. Pitch on the way. It's right back up the middle, but bouncing nicely to second. Step on the bag, throwing, got him. Alex Steele doing it all himself. 4 unassisted, 3, 2 out.
And Steele gets DH'd for, but he certainly does his job in the field. Sometimes it can be difficult managing your feet around the base on a double play that you take by yourself, but Steele did a nice job put his right foot on second base and used it as a plant foot at the same time to turn the double play.
Steal a stealer right there and taking the opportunity away from the Falcons. So now with nobody on, that's low to Connor Cronin, who's 0 for 2, 1-0. 6 runs on 5 base hits for Fairfield Ludlow, swinging a foul back off to our right. 1 ball, 1 strike. 7 runs on 6 base hits for Fairfield Ward. There have been 2 errors in the game, both of them committed by the Mustangs.
And I'll take back what I said. I said a strikeout would be the worst thing in the world. I think a double play might have been worse.
That was a hair worse. The 1-1. Low and outside, blocked again by DeBartolomeo. 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1 pitch on the way. On the outside corner with a tail, 2-2. Breeze begins to whip around again.
And it looked like Cronin knew that pitch was going to be called strike before it was called a strike, but still not one you can really reach out there.
Little tossing down the right field line in the bullpen. A high fly ball to right. Bobby Lazar comes in now, tracks it back and puts it away. And the inning quickly comes to an end. A walk, but a double play erases it and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning at the ballpark at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport. Fairfield Ward 7, Fairfield Ludlow 6. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network. A 7-6 ball game as we stay with you here in Bridgeport. And a nice night here. We'll take a break. 7-6 the score. We're back after this on the HAN Network.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday items to the freshest organic produce, artisanal cheeses, and grass-fed steaks. Drop off your knives to be sharpened, grab a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers, and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN Network.
Bridgeport, we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. John Natoli will lead things off. Dave Schultz stopping up and saying hello in the booth. This, by the way, not truly a booth. I'll explain if you don't know the drill. And Natoli takes one right on the number 4. He'll walk to first. And tosses the bat away with a little bit of anger. Not happy at what Maggi just did. So hit by pitch, and he goes down to first base.
And interesting, Hanrahan walked down the first base line about 3/4 of the way with Natoli. I don't know who was angry, or maybe he was trying to dispel the situation a little bit, but that was a little bit odd.
I saw what you saw as well, and we're going to get a pitching change right after that. So 1 pitch, and Eddie Maggi's evening comes to an end. But I saw what you saw, a little bit of frustration there. Looks like a right-hander coming in from the bullpen in a 7-6 ball game. We will take a break. We're back right after this. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
For more than 50 years, Triple S has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities. With locations in Norwalk, Stamford, and Stratford, Triple S will get the job done fast, big or small. At Triple S, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning. Find us at triplesclean.com or 203-847-8000.
When it comes to local entertainment, we've got it all.
From movies, local artists, etiquette, and more.
Watch HAN Arts and Leisure every Thursday at 2 on the HAN Network.
The new pitcher is Matt Grabowski. Justin, I agree with you. I think C.J. Hanrahan was just making sure that, everybody kind of kept it under control.
Yeah, and the thing is that some guys might look upset when they get hit by a pitch, but usually they're not upset at the pitcher. They're upset that they just took an 80-mile-an-hour hard baseball right in the back.
Xavier Espinel shows bunt. They're actually appealing as to whether or not he offered, and the second base umpire, the base umpire, said no, he did not. Now that's going to get a visit coming out of the third base dugout.
And everybody works hard. They're getting paid. They're doing their job. But I'm just going to tell you flat out right now, I was looking. The umpire was not paying attention. He did not see what happened on that play at all.
Well, I completely agree with you because for my money, Espinel offered.
I thought I heard a foul ball, to be honest.
Yeah. He's going to try it again. This time he does bunt. It's grabbed. The throw to second. They got him there.
Well, that works better than a strike, I guess.
So that turns into a fielder's choice and wonderfully turned by Hanrahan. 1 out.
And now we have another situation here. Not a big deal, but what happened was Hanrahan tossed the bat over to DeBartolomeo, and he tossed a little hard. DeBartolomeo caught it and said, calm down, CJ, a little bit. The umpire held them aside for a second. No big deal there. But a nice play by Hanrahan before the ball went foul.
And DeBartolomeo rips one foul, first base side, and out into the parking lot. No balls and a strike.
That bunt was clearly rolling foul, but Hanrahan made the play, picked it up, went to second with it, knowing you could get the out. Smart play right there.
No balls, 1 strike. A runner now off first. It's a 7-6 ball game. Ward on top. That's on the outside corner. I would be willing to offer that pitch was somewhere around the Port Jeff Ferry. No balls, 2 strikes. The 0-2. That is low and outside, 1 and 2.
From this point of view, we don't have great perception of high and low, mostly low, but we can see right over the plate, and that certainly looked a bit outside.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, runner off first. That is clearly outside, 2 and 2. Port Jeff Ferry access road is actually to our hard right, and the ferry itself, you'll see it go right beyond the right field fence. It's a beautiful sight, actually. 2-2 pitch on the way, served foul, third base side. That almost pinballing around onto the tracks. It's 2 and 2.
Bartolomeo's been behind all the fastballs so far in this at-bat from Grabowski. We'll see if he sticks with that or tries and goes off speed, maybe get him to chase something out of the zone.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 7-6 ball game. That's on the outside corner, called strike 3. First strikeout for Grabowski.
Talk about hitting a spot right there.
So 2 down for Bobby Lazar, who was 0 for 1, struck out and sacrificed. Never been on the Port Jeff Ferry. I hear it's quite nice.
I've actually been, I want to say 10 to 15 times. Usually, there's a baseball tournament that a lot of travel teams go to, and that's really the best way to get there.
Left-handed batter and the pitch on the way. That's upstairs 1-0. Of course, the angle I'm coming from in New York doesn't entirely make sense for me to take the ferry, but you never know. One day might do it. If I'm heading out to the eastern part of Long Island, I just head down through New York and across one of the bridges. He swings and rips it right off the fence out in front of the Ludlow dugout. They don't call it the Don Zimmer Fencing Company for no reason.
I could hear in my head Ken Singleton somewhere going, watch out.
Look out. That's actually, Ken Singleton is on Twitter, doesn't tweet a lot. I believe it's 29 all-time is his handle, because he did wear number 29, the Westchester County native, who played for the Montreal Expos and then had a great career for the Baltimore Orioles. What a hitter he was. Takes it inside. 2 balls and a strike. But Kenny, virtually every tweet from Kenny Singleton starts with "look out" in capital letters, because that's just his thing. 2 balls, 1 strike. Runner off first. Pitch on the way. That's up and in to to Lazar. 3 balls and a strike. 2 out, runner off first. 7-6 ball game, Ward on top. If you don't know the history of the Don Zimmer Fence Company, that dates back a few years to the last Yankee dynasty. The 3-1 is on the outside corner somewhere around I-95, and it's a 3-2 count.
If you can't tell, Rob's not thrilled with the strike zone tonight.
I'm just baffled by it, that's all.
I couldn't agree with you more.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runner off first, and he brings it low and inside with the runner going ball 4.
And trust me, I pitched when this guy was an umpire for me. It's like, just turn the lights off and I'll throw it, and maybe it'll be a strike. I don't know.
Owen Berndorf had one of the big at-bats in this ball game. He doubled back in the 4th inning. It drove in 2 and tied this game right back up. Now time called, and time indeed has been granted for Hanrahan to go out to the mound.
So first and second, 2 outs here. You have the 9-hitter up. Even though he already hit a double, you don't want to get back to the top of the order in this inning.
Fences have become much more common in baseball ballparks, in part thanks to Derek Jeter, of all things, who rocketed one into the Yankee dugout, and it hit Don Zimmer. Pitch on the way. On the inside corner, a called strike, 0-1. Zimmer was okay, but famously came out wearing an Army helmet the next time around with an interlocking NY on it. As an inside joke, he and Jeter, of course, were very close. Don Zimmer, one of the true baseball lifers. Runs inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And now even more than those fences, we're seeing a lot of stadiums start extending the netting down both lines. We've just seen so many injuries on wicked foul balls going into the stands. I think it's only right.
1 ball, 1 strike. 2 out, runners off first and second in a 7-6 ball game. Fastball upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. We once had Bill Spaceman Lee, the former Red Sox pitcher, on one of our shows many years ago. Patty Gay and I interviewed him many years ago, being about a year and a half ago, by the way. That's on the outside corner, 2-2, many months ago, but it seems like a lifetime ago. In any event, don't ask Spaceman Lee about Don Zimmer. It's not pretty. It's rather colorful. 2-2 pitch on the way. Curveball stays outside, and in fact actually backhanded by Hanrahan as he came out of his crouch.
Definitely a cross-up right there.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Now time called. A right-hander in the Ludlow bullpen. The Ward bullpen quiet.
They're checking the count here. The scoreboard up there says 3-1. The umpires conferring a might be 3-2.
It is a 3-2, at least by my count. Here it is. Bouncer to short, charging in Devaney, throws off balance, got him. Count doesn't matter. Inning over. No runs with no hits, a walk, and 2 men left on base. We go now to the 6th inning. 7-6. Ward leads Ludlow. You're watching the FCAC on the HAN Network.
Can't wait for it to get warmer so you can start fishing again? Get over to the Dock Shop, where they have the latest in fishing tackle, marine electronics, boating supplies, and more. But remember, the Dock Shop isn't your average tackle shop. You'll also find the finest selection of nautical apparel, jewelry, home decor, and gifts in New England. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
Mosquitoes, ticks, gone. Guaranteed. That's what Mosquito Squad guarantees as America's most trusted mosquito and tick control company. Locally owned and operated, over 90,000 homes have been protected by Mosquito Squad using their dual protection method for season-long protection, which includes barrier spray service for eliminating mosquitoes and adult ticks, as well as supplemental programs to increase tick control. They use only USDA organic options, which are safe and non-toxic. Contact them today at www.squadctny.com or 203-893-4309. Mosquito Squad. No bugs, no bites, no kidding.
Let's take it into the 6th inning with the sound of the theme of The Price is Right as they reveal the 50-50 number here at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. Rob Adams, Justin Galanti, glad you're along with us. 7-6 the score. as Ward leads Ludlow. John McMillan will lead things off. He's 1 for 2, singled and scored in the second, struck out in the fourth. And John Natoli, pitch number 91, is roped to short, bounced and picked up by Myers, throws across with plenty of time, 1 out.
Nice play there by Myers. He saw how hard that ball was hit, so knew if he got in front of it and knocked it down, he would still have plenty of time to throw out McMillan.
I just saw somebody added me as a friend on Snapchat. I am still so out of touch that I really don't know how to use it. I have it, and I have no clue how to use it. Here's C.J. Hanrahan, who has scored twice. He takes a called strike at the knees, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch on the way with plenty of room in right center field is outside, 1-1.
And that's an interesting point you make there, because a lot of the Ludlow hitters have been late on Natoli's fastball today, yet they leave that right center field gap open.
The 1-1 is low and inside, 2 balls and a strike. Brancato hooked around toward left center field. The 2-1 pitch. He swings and certainly fouls it off to Bill Bloxham's left. 2 balls, 2 strikes. (7-6). Ward on top of Ludlow. We're in the 6th inning, and Natoli brings it home. Breaking ball is lined in the left field for a 1-out hit for C.J. Hanrahan. He's been on base 3 times.
And once again, Hanrahan was behind the fastball there. Natoli chooses to go with the off-speed pitch, speeds up Hanrahan's bat. It's a single with 1 out.
That'll bring up Sean Gutierrez. He's also been on base twice, singled back in the second, drove in a run. Then he walked in the 4th. Now we'll get a pinch runner. Connor Devaney goes down to first. If you know the drill, you understand that Devaney is coming in purely as what you would call a courtesy runner because of the funky re-entry rules. Because I would imagine we will see Hanrahan right back behind the plate. A long look, throw over, and they got him! Well, that didn't last very long. The tying run quickly erased.
I think if you're going to make a list as a pinch runner of the top things you don't want to do, I would say getting picked off before a pitch is thrown is probably number 1.
I would say Connor Devaney's probably going to have a few words mentioned to him as he heads back to the dugout. And the pitch on the way is a swing and a miss by Gutierrez, 0-1. The 0-1. Swung on and missed. High fastball, 0-2.
And a lot of times those pickoffs are tough calls. They look close, but he certainly looked out from my vantage point.
Yeah, I thought that was a fair call. Natoli shaking off DeBartolomeo, now brings it home, and it's a high fly ball off first. That'll head into the stands right near Seth Fry, no harm, and pinballs right back to a fan.
And you love to see Natoli. A lot of pitchers, if there's a pop-up anywhere near the infield, they run out of the way and say, someone else get it. Natoli was sprinting to the edge of the fence right there. If anyone was going to get that one, it would have been him.
You don't like seeing the pitcher make the play, especially in baseball. Softball, a different story. The 0-2 pitch. Swings and misses, and the inning comes to an end. For Natoli, that is strikeout number 8. And as a result of that pickoff, it becomes 3 up and 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning at the ballpark at Harbor Yard with Fairfield Ward leading Fairfield Ludlow 7-6. You're watching the FCAC on the HAN Network.
Had a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or go to coastalorthoexpress.com. That's coastalorthoexpress.com. Like them on Facebook.
For over 25 years, Mike Cizik Painting and Wallpapering has been the name to know for residential and commercial properties in Fairfield County. He uses only the top brands, including Benjamin Moore, for impeccable preparation and lasting quality. Call Mike now and receive $500 off any job over $7,000. Mike is currently accepting reservations for spring, so call him today at 203-770-8869 or 203-972-3310. For your custom painting, finishing, and staining needs, it's Mike Cizik.
Getting ready to start the last of the 6th inning in a 7-6 ball game. Rob Adams, Justin Galanti. As we start the inning, the pitch on the outside corner is a called strike. And I have an exciting note for you coming from Twitter that Sean Saylor just mentioned to me. Get to that in a moment. But we start the bottom of the 6th inning with Joey Deutsch. And he watches it on the outside part of the plate. It's 1-1.
And this is incredibly important for Grabowski to put up a 0 here in the bottom half of the 6th. Get Ludlow back in the dugout, only down a run.
The 1-1 pitch misses high and away. 2 balls and a strike. We had a tweet from a good friend of Brett Connor, Dan Orlovsky. Oh, I know the name sounds familiar, Fairfield County. You have to know it. Swung on and lifted down the right field line. That's twisting toward the Two Roads area and out of play. 2-2. But there's a Dan Orlovsky-Rob Adams connection. Dan Orlovsky played his high school football at Shelton High School. He won a state championship, the Class LL, in 2000. Won that game 22-8, threw a touchdown pass. This is outside. In fact, I believe he threw 2. And it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. That day, 22-8, he beat the Greenwich Cardinals. And standing on top of the press box at Ken Strong Stadium was a very cold me calling the action on WGCH.
I was really expecting you to say that the touchdown pass he threw was to you.
Nope. But I can tell you, as Mike Francesi is having another conversation with the home plate umpire and expressing his obvious displeasure.
I think he's. I think.
And now talking things over, I believe, with Hanrahan as well.
I think there's confusion about the count.
Well, they've got it all straight. I've got 3-2.
I do too.
All right, we're all on the same page. Let's do it again. The 3-2 is fouled straight back. I will tell you, the first touchdown pass that he threw, I remember the back going across the line, and there was a hesitation by the official to put his hands up until he saw that the runner had crossed the plane. This is pulled to short, moving over Devaney. He sets and fires, got him 1 out. In any event, it was about the loudest I've ever heard a high school crowd respond, because the noise was just an explosion when he got across the line. And again, Greenwich had an 8-7 lead in that game, but in the end, it was a 22-8 championship victory for Dan Orlovsky and the Shelton Gales in 2000. Dan, of course, went on from there to UConn and then made his way to the NFL. A high fly ball on the outfield grass. Devaney calling for it, but coming on and watching it bounce is Landry. Safe at first on a single is Jack Myers.
Well, that ball was pretty much in that Bermuda Triangle between left field, center field, and shortstop. But from my point of view, it looked like the left fielder, Landry, was the last person who should have caught that ball.
You'd like to see your center fielder take over in that spot. And now the pitch on the way, runs inside and hits Brancato, who will toss the bat aside and head to first. It'll be 2 on and 1 out in a 7-6 ball game.
So just like that, you go from what should have been nobody on, 2 out, to first and second, 1 out, and Ludlow might have some issues here.
So Matt Grabowski hits a batter, and we'll get time called once again and a visit to the mound.
So John Natoli, who is one of Ward's better hitters, has come out on deck, so that really isn't any indication of whether he'll pitch the 7th or not. But there is no activity in the Ward bullpen. There are 3 guys sitting down there, probably a pitcher, a protector, and a bullpen catcher, but no one's throwing, so you would expect Natoli, even though he's given up 6 runs so far, to come out and start the 7th inning. We'll see if his lead is 1 or more than that.
Incidentally, Dan Orlovsky, a big fan of the Ward uniforms tonight. These 1982 era kind of Chicago White Sox unis.
I'm a pretty big fan, too.
I like them. Here's Reese Maniscalco. A postscript to that 2000 state championship game. Of course, as a broadcaster, and you know this, we don't often get down to the field to talk to anyone. He swings, lines it to second, got him there, throw to first, got him there. A line out to second, and then a 4-3 double play. Just to finish the story, I wanted to get to the field and just shake Orlovsky's hand. I knew he was going to do big things. He has done big things, moving on to UConn and then to the NFL. 7-6 as we head to the 7th inning. We're through 6. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
A Better View Window Cleaning Plus has been cleaning glass all over Connecticut for over 20 years. They also specialize in cleaning chandeliers, mirrors, skylights, tiles, and will power wash anything that needs cleaning. They hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and are fully insured and bonded. When you deal with a Better View, you're dealing with the best, not the rest. Call today for a free estimate, 203-284-8836, or visit them online, abetterviewcleaning.com.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 500,000 viewers enjoyed our broadcasts in the first 5 months. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Back at the ballpark at Harbor Yard, we go to the 7th inning. Trip McGarry will be the pinch hitter to start the last 3-out hope for the Fairfield Ludlow Falcons.
And look, you have to be impressed with John Natoli today. He's at least one of the aces of this Ward staff. He's going to Cornell next year, certainly not used to giving up a lot of runs. Well, through 4 innings, he'd given up 6, and his team was behind by 2 runs. But he's shut down the Falcons ever since then, and they have a 1-run lead, and he has an opportunity to get his team a big win, get to 8 wins in the FCIAC, and pretty much put a decisive blow into Ludlow's season, dropping them to 4-6 in the FCIAC, and it would make it tough for them to get into the state tournament.
McGarry, a right-handed batter. Will start the 7th inning. And Natoli brings it home on the inside corner with a breaking pitch, 0-1. My final note for Dan Orlovsky, you're a Shelton guy. We do a show in Shelton called Nutmeg Sports. Why don't you come on and have a chat with us? Love to have you on as a guest. That misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. What do you think of heading down to the field post-game?
I'm pretty much up for it. Maybe I'll get to talk to someone who will turn out to be as successful as Dan Orlovsky.
1 ball, make it 2 balls, 1 strike. And the 2-1 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. It's 2-2. 7 runs, 7 hits for Fairfield Ward. 6 runs, 6 hits for Fairfield Ludlow. You don't get that line score every day. Double barrel action, by the way, for the Falcons. Now it's just a righty throwing. But there was another righty that was just kind of tossing as well. Pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. That is strikeout number 9 for Natoli. 1 away. It'll bring up Mike Bernstein. He has been a thorn in the side of Fairfield Ward. Reached on an error in the first, tripled and drove in a run in the third, then doubled, drove in 2, and scored a run in the 4th. But he waits on a slider outside, 1-0. One ball, no strikes. Pitch on the way. Fastball's a called strike at the knees, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch on the way with 1 out. Fastball ripped foul, first base side, and well out of play into the Harbor Yard parking lot. It's 1-2. That now a season ticket parking lot. Traditionally was also where the players would park. And also where I would park. Not tonight. The 1-2 pitch. Low and outside. Gets away from DeBartolomeo, 2-2. When Sean Saylor and I got here, there was a St. Thomas Aquinas College game against the University of Bridgeport. UB won. I believe the game was 7-1. This is the home field for UB, and I believe they are now into the playoffs from what we were told. 2-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed at a high fastball. 2 away. 10 strikeouts now for John Natoli, and the last hope is Dan Paglialunga. Struck out in the first, struck out in the second, singled and singled and was caught stealing in the fourth. The last hope in the 7th inning. And the pitch on the way, swings and misses, frustrated with himself at a breaking pitch, 0-1. Natoli ready with the 0-1. Fastball runs low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. This game 2 minutes short of 2 hours long. And the pitch. Line through the left side and still hope. Paglialunga on with a 2-out hit. He is the tying run at first base. It'll bring up Matt Landry. Landry grounded to first, caught looking in the third, and walked in the 5th. And John Natoli trying to go the distance with a 7-6 lead. Pitch on the way. Swung and missed at a breaking ball, 0-1. That pitch out of the strike zone. Natoli up around 115 pitches, but I'll count it all for you in a moment. And my count always very unofficial, the 0-1. On the inside corner, and there are strike away. So no balls, 2 strikes. 2 out. Landry waving the bat. Paglialunga off first in a 7-6 game. The set and the pitch. Fouled back and he spoils it. Some rhythmic clapping from the Fairfield Ward fans down the first baseline, and a really nice turnout here tonight. This is a high school baseball game, and they have done a nice job bringing out a fine crowd here in Bridgeport. Natoli trying to go the distance. The 0-2. Swung on and he got a piece of it to foul it back and stay alive. His next pitch will be pitch number 118. And he's ready with it. Landry waiting. Fouled back again. We've got ourselves a battle. So Landry will wait on pitch 119. Trying to finish what he started. No balls, 2 strikes. 7-6, tying run off first. Here it comes. And a fly ball on the infield. Calling for it, Joey Deutsch to put it away, and the ball game is over. So Fairfield Ward gets the victory, 7-6. They had some hope, did the Falcons here in the top of the 7th, but no runs with a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. The final score from the ballpark at Harbor Yard in the battle for Fairfield. Fairfield Ward 7, Fairfield Ludlow 6. Post-game show comes up right after this. You're watching the FCAC on the HAN Network.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking, to a partner that makes small businesses feel big, where community comes first, where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver, where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well, bank smart, bank local, bank well. With the 24-month Bankwell Smart CD, you can earn 1.25% APY and raise your rate and add to your CD.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 500,000 viewers enjoyed our broadcasts in the first 5 months. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to the ballpark at Harbor Yard. Rob Adams, Justin Galanti down on the field, 7-6 the final score. And really an enjoyable ball game as we kind of run through the highlights a little bit for you. You know, early on for the Falcons, they squandered a big opportunity. The thinking going into this game was this was not to be Ludlow's night. That Ward was the far better team. So if runs were to come at a premium, then the Falcons had to strike. And Mike Bernstein led off the game reaching on an error. However, Dan Paglialunga struck out. Matt Landry grounded to first, and Chris Howell flied to second. With all that said, the run was squandered. However, in the second inning, the Falcons came up with 3. A single by John McMillan, a single by C.J. Hanrahan, and then a single by Sean Gutierrez made it 1-0 right there. Then a triple by Mike Bernstein brought in a second run and a third run coming home as well as a result of a throw. And all of a sudden, it was a 3-0 ball game right there. But we move on now into the third inning, and that's where the Mustangs got on the board. A walk to DeBartolomeo, a strikeout to Lazar, Berndorf grounded to second, a single for Joey Deutsch, Jack Myers walked, Giacomo Brancato walked. That brought in a run to make it 3-1, and then a booming double by Reese Maniscalco made it a 4-3 ball game. But with all that said, we'll continue on with the recap in a moment. We head to the field. We bring in Justin Galanti.
Thanks, Rob. I'm here with John Natoli, the winning pitcher. John, congrats on the win. You got off to a bit of a rough start. You guys were down 6-4. What turned around for you in the last few innings, able to put up 3 consecutive zeros?
You know, I just knew I had to have my team's back. They really fought for me. They came back with a few really crucial runs there. I just knew I wanted to get this win for them.
You guys got contributions in the lineup from top to bottom. How important was that?
That was big. I mean, everyone did their piece today. Owen Bjerndorf at the 9-hole had a huge double there to take the lead or tie the game again. It's big.
And now you guys came into the season as an FCIAC favorite, got off to a little bit of a rough start in the conference, but now you're squarely in position to qualify for the playoffs. What kind of statement do you think you guys are making?
I think we show that we can really make a run in the FCIACs. I mean, we're playing well really right now.
Well, congrats on the win. Good luck. Rob, back to you.
Justin, thank you very much, and thanks to John Natoli as well. Let's give you his numbers, and we'll get back to the recap quickly. For Natoli, 119 pitches. He went the distance, allowed 6 runs, 5 earned, 7 hits. He walked 2, struck out 10, and threw 1 wild pitch. Just to recap the rest of the scoring for you, we pick it up now in the 4th inning, and it seemed like after all was said and done that maybe it was the Mustangs' night. They took a 4-3 lead after the booming double by Maniscalco. In the 4th inning, though, back come the Falcons. A walk to Hanrahan, Gutierrez with a walk following a strikeout, Mike Bernstein, a 2 RBI double, and that made it a 5-4 ball game at that point. And we weren't done. It became 6-4 following a single and an error off the bat of Paglialunga, Bernstein scoring. But back come the Mustangs, bottom of the 4th inning. They get a single from Xavier Espinel. Danny DeBartolomeo singles as well. Dom Conti pinch runs for Espinel. So 2 on, a sacrifice by Lazar. And then Owen Berndorf with a 2 RBI double. That knotted the game at 6. Moments later, a single by Brancato made it a 7-6 ball game. And believe it or not, the scoring was done at that point. Moved it on to the 7th inning, and what life left for the Falcons ended right there. A strikeout to Trip McGarry, then Mike Bernstein, a strikeout as well. That was 10 on the night, a single for Paglialunga, and then Matt Landry with the tying run on, popped to third. Final score, 7-6. So for Fairfield Ward, they are now 12-5 on the year, 8-5 in the FCIAC. For Ludlow, well, it's a tough road for them. They dropped to 4-10 overall and 4-6 in the conference. and that probably knocks them out of any kind of playoff contention. Now, the 40% rule can get you there, but it's a long road back for the Falcons at this point. I don't know. And, of course, it's only up to them. That's why we go on and play the games. We'll see if that's enough to get the Falcons into the playoffs. I've lingered on long enough that Justin can actually jump back on for a moment. John Natoli's numbers outstanding. He really battled through this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I talked to him off the air, and he said he didn't feel great today. His stuff wasn't really there, but he knows how important it is for him to battle throughout the game, like you said, and came up with a win, and really that's all that matters.
That really is all that matters. Great job today. Fun working with you.
You too. Thanks so much.
Happy to have you along, and a great job by everybody here on this crew at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. Totals on the ball game for Fairfield Ludlow: 6 runs, 7 hits. They committed no errors, and they stranded 3. For Fairfield Ward, 7 runs on 7 hits. They committed 2 errors and stranded 6. The winning pitcher is John Natoli, as we mentioned. He went the distance: 6 runs, 5 earned, 7 hits, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. In the end, it's Eddie Maggi who will take the loss. In his 1 inning of work, he allowed the 1 earned run on 2 hits, walked 1, hit 1. Matt Grabowski threw 30 pitches in 2 innings of relief, allowed no runs, 1 hit, walked 1, and hit 1. The final score in a game that took 2 hours and 1 minute, 7-6, Fairfield Ludlow with the win. As we said, Fairfield Ludlow gets the win now, and they improve, as we mentioned, to 12-5 on the year. With all that said and done, that'll do it from the ballpark at Harbor Yard. Final score: Fairfield Ward 7, Fairfield Ludlow 6. We are back with you tomorrow from Darien High School. Girls lacrosse, the Darien Blue Wave and the New Canaan Rams. A good matchup in the FCIAC. We look forward to that one as well. Coffee break will start your day tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. Highlights of this game, as well as Nutmeg Sports, coming your way at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and girls lacrosse later on. For our entire crew here at the ballpark at Harbor Yard, Josh Fisher, Marty Hersom, CJ Santiani, Bill Bloxam, the legendary Sean Saylor, AJ Simonowski, Eric Gendron, and Justin Galanti, I'm Rob Adams. Fairfield Ward gets the win in the Battle of Fairfield. Ward 7, Ludlow 6. You've been watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network. Good night from the great ballpark at Harbor Yard.